Hey, Gonky,
Hmm.
you ready to talk about the next thing? Oh my God, I got usurped.
Yeah.
Boeing is
Well,
building Super Hornets because of the same thing we just talked about.
yeah, there's a great lead in, right? So it doesn't say it in this article, but the slow roll, the F-35, and basically, right, everybody's struggling with a fighter gap. Well, the Navy just put in an order for some more Super Hornets. So the Block 3 top of the line, and the good thing is it brings the production line out to 2027. So the Navy's going to get, how many was it? 17 of them. So about a squadron and a half, and $1.5 billion, which blows my mind that you can look out on the ramp of a Navy squadron and be like, wow, it's $1 billion worth of airplanes out there. But, but yeah, so I think it's a good move on the Navy's part. We talked a little bit about it last week about, hey, they stopped. Okay, the FAXX, we're going to stop putting money to this right now. We're going to focus on some of the problems that we currently have, which a lot of it is because the Navy also has ships. Shocker. They're just trying to manage their resources better. And I think the Navy, because it's smaller, has always been a little bit better at lead turning fiscal issues. I'm not saying they're perfect by any stretch, but this kind of proves my point. Hey, we're never going to buy any more Super Hornets. The line's going closed, right? Well, an order of 17 keeps it open, and that just keeps what that does is that keeps the Navy's options open. So any further delays in F-35, they'll be able to at least fill the void. And I've had a couple of people send me some messages. I don't personally believe the F-35 is the replacement for the Super Hornet. I wasn't around as a Hornet pilot when they started bringing them into the fleet, but I think the idea the whole time has been, you'll have two variants, Super Hornet and F-35 on the decks. So this thing's going to be flying for a lot longer, man. You can read through it. It's got all kinds of, top of the line, all the data link stuff, all the latest and greatest AESA, it's even talking about an ERST. These are going to be some really powerful jets. Not fifth gen per se, but the Super Hornet is a strong candidate. So I don't know, Mover. What do you think? Good move on the Navy, buying another 17, keeping the line open.
Here's my conspiracy theory for this.
Oh boy,
it was done for Tom Cruise.
He wants one.
No, because otherwise Top Gun 3 wouldn't happen, because they just announced Paramount is doing another movie, and if the Super Hornet is not a newest, latest, and greatest thing, he can't fly in the back or in the front, as people say. Just saying. But no, seriously, dude, I think we should have been buying new jets from. Like, I don't think the assembly line should ever be turned off, because I think that until you have a ready replacement and are delivering jets by the dozen, I just think that you cannot let the state of readiness fall by the wayside. And I've said that about the F-16. I think the EX, I was disappointed that we stopped buying. Now, granted, money is always a thing, but it's the economies of scale. Right. The more you buy, the cheaper the unit cost. And we talked about this. And now cover your ears, Gonky, because this is going to be a sensitive topic. But the Kuwaiti Block 3, we talked about that, with it keeping the assembly line going. And then immediately after, we were talking about India not wanting to buy it because they went a different direction. So this almost sounds like the U.S. government going, hey, we want to keep this thing going. Why don't you give us, a squadron? I'm surprised to hear that 17 jets is a squadron and a half on a small Air Force squadron of 18 PAA. So 18 jets is about a small squadron, and 20 plus is a bigger squadron. So it's interesting. Was it 12? Is 12 like normal?
12, yeah.
Yeah. So that gives you a squadron plus spares. And where do you think, like, if you were, where do you think half and half? Do they integrate because it's obviously not going to be a full squadron.
No. So back when I was a Super Hornet IP, a lot of the new jets came to the RAG actually.
Really?
Now, back then we were transitioning squadrons, right? So we would get all their jets, and which was wonderful because I flew a ton of brand new Super Hornets, and they were amazing. And then once the squadrons would roll through, they get their quals, and then we would bleed a couple. But as they would leave, we would get new ones. I don't know if that's going to be the case with these. Because I don't think, and I'm not smart on it, but as far as the block 2 and 3, the differences, I don't know if that requires heading back to the RAG at all. But I don't know, man. They might roll them through the schoolhouse there, and then just flow them onesies, twosies into squadrons that need them.
Is this a block 3? Is that what this is?
Supposed to be, yeah. That's what it says in the article.
Like, so a US version, so as souped up as it'll get.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, these will be the latest and greatest.
The motors.
A lot like they only have one motor. It's the mild motor.
Oh.
They didn't, so way back like 10, 12 years ago, they pitched an EPE engine, kind of like the legacy motor had.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It didn't get any traction. Nobody bought it, which I think the Super Hornet needs the EPE engine, but
this is how fighter pilots aren't in charge of this stuff, because there's no fighter pilot be like, give us a small engine.
Yeah.
I want the economy version. No. They're going to be like double the thrust.
Yeah, it's like being like, do you want the V6 or do you want the Hellcat? It's like, let me think about it. No, there's no thinking.
Hellcat.
Give me the Hellcat, dude.
Yeah, if I want gas mileage, I'll buy a minivan.
Yeah. There's tankers available, right?
Yeah, this thing can be a tanker. Yeah, no, that's interesting. And so I guess the question is, in Top Gun 3, will he be throwing a new NATOPS in the trash, or is it the same one?
You know what? Yeah, that's funny, man. I don't know. Maybe it'll be 2 of them that are sewn together. He'll have to have a 5-gallon. He'll have to have a 5-gallon.
Yeah, well, that cuts down on production costs when you use the same NATOPS to throw in the trash at every movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a great move on the
Hell
Navy's
yeah.
part. I personally think the Marines should buy a ton of them because as that was the Hornet I think the Marines actually really wanted, but I digress.
Well,
I think Canada should buy it. I think Canada should buy it.
Well, I mean, if you keep buying them, you got these older jets that, different earlier lots, you can shuffle them off to the Marines that are losing their legacy Hornets, I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool. Well, thank you for your insights on that.